Hello everyone, I hope that you're having a great day. We just got a big surprise update in Baldur's Gate 3's patch 8 with Hotfix 31, which fixes the weird trippy color glitch that was happening. It also fixes Shadowblade, as well as some of the arcane arrows that the arcane archer gets, and much more. Now, they recently updated us. Good news, anyone. You'll no longer be tripping balls on the Larian Studios Facebook. Pretty funny. But yeah, been tripping hard. It's not you, it's us. Probably. Today's hotfix aims to tackle the kaleidoscope of colors that appear while changing locations, as well as various other bugs that made their way into the game. There's actually quite a few changes here. I'm very impressed. I knew that patch or hotfix 31 was coming out. I did do a video last week talking about fixes for the colors here, and I said that I think that there's a hotfix on the way, and here we go. Larian Studios, you're the best. So yeah, you can reach out to the support team if you have any issues regarding that. So yeah, in the toolkit, fix a potential crash when loading a level which required a mod and then loading without the required mod. So any tool fix issues, I'm glad to see them working on that, because that's how people make the mods for this game and the great modding community that we have. Now, game crashes in performance. Fix a crash when hovering over certain items in the inventory while trading. It also fixed a trippy, high saturated graphical artifacts appearing in game, often when teleporting between waypoints. So yeah, this was popping up, causing the screen to look pretty trippy. Mostly affected PlayStation 5 players from what I've heard. There's also another issue that's been popping up, which we'll be talking about a little bit later in this video, because it didn't seem to get fixed in this. But for those that are getting lag while using the radial wheel on console, there is a fix for that. Now, new subclass fixes. The Hexblade Warlocks can now replace a level 2 or a spell at level 2 like other Warlock spells subclasses. Immutable form now reacts to the arcane shot banishing arrow. If you don't know what this is, it's basically the boss enemies that you fight in the game. They become immune to being banished. So this now works properly with banishing arrow, making it so you can't cheese the game as much. Fancy footwork passive now also works even if you miss. So that's for the swashbuckler rogue, allowing you to run away. Vaporax Greed, the god of or demigod of ogres. This is from the giant barbarian, and now takes into account the human versatility, which gives human type characters extra carry capacity, and now it'll add another quarter. So that's nice to get that fixed up. Arcane shot grasping arrow can now damage flying targets. So previously what the grasping arrow does, so whenever you use the grasping arrow, basically like booming blade, if the target moves, they'll take additional slashing damage. Now, this would end up not working properly, and targets would move. If they flew, it didn't trigger this because it only counted by movement speed. So that's nice. Got that fixed up. Remove the long rest indicator on the Accursed Spectre passive tooltip. Dazzling Breath now correctly applies a spellcasting ability modifier when enemy succeeds its saving throw. So this is good because the Dazzling Breath is such a really nice ability from the Star Druid. So I'm glad I got that all fixed up. Also, with the Star Druid, if you dismiss Windwalk or Gaseous form, it no longer will get rid of your starry form. Shadowblade. The Shadowblade no longer shows an empty tooltip while you examine it while upcasting. And fix the bug causing Shadowblade to lose properties when other conditions are removed. This would cause, for example, the blade to lose any bonus damage when the concentration is broken. So basically what was happening, if you had Shadowblade on your character, it'll have basically the weapon would have a 4d8 of psychic damage for the damage, and if you had like a poison on it and the poison wears off, it would revert the weapon down to 2d8, so you lose double the weapon damage. If you use a 5th level spell slot, that really sucks. So this is now fixed. I know a lot of people were talking about this, so super excited to see that one getting corrected. Piercing arrows overall damage is now reduced by half rather than just the bonus damage. So what happens there is whenever you use the piercing arrow, it kind of works like spells kind of do, so the target can save on it. Use transmutation magic to attack all those in a line within your shot. Each target must succeed a saving throw or be dealt an additional 1d6 piercing damage. So yeah, they now fixed it properly so that whenever you use the piercing arrow, the damage is now also reduced by half rather than just the bonus damage being reduced by half. So hey, it's a really good arrow. And it's needed. I feel like it needed a little balancing. Curving arrow will now only target enemies and not neutral parties. This would cause neutral parties to then also naturally become your enemies. So what this means with curving shot, whenever you're an arcane archer, let's say you go to attack someone and you miss with your attack, you can use a bonus action to redirect your attack to another enemy. But let's say that there was a NPC just standing right here, it would actually redirect it and attack the NPC by accident, and then they become your enemy. So yeah, that fixes that. And fix a bug allowing sneak attacks to be triggered on Dirty Trick Sand Toss, which is a bonus action ability that the swashbuckler rogue gets. So that kind of made it tough because you could do like an attack and then, or you could do something on your main action, and then your bonus action would also allow you to sneak attack. So yeah, all the new subclasses end up getting some sort of fix here and corrects them. And I gotta give hats off to Larian for updating these so quickly. Gameplay and scripting. Remove some defunct dialogue that was mistakenly made into Minthara Speak of the Dead dialogue in patch 8. That's cool. I'm not sure what that means, so if anyone knows, please leave a comment. Fix an issue preventing you from waking up if you long rested while Shadowheart was taken out outside a camp and after deciding her parents' fate. So that's interesting. The recast of Cloudkill at level 6 is now accurately marked as level 6 instead of level 5 in the UI. They previously updated this on the last patch. I also want to talk about Cloudkill because it's typically thought of as not a great spell. However, if you have someone that has the Hero's Feast spell, your entire team can hang out in Cloudkill because you become immune to the poison. Just due to how Cloudkill works, it's not like natural poison damage, it acts as the poison condition. So if you have Hero's Feast, you can have your whole team hang out in it. Fix the bug preventing you from moving corpses into containers on the controller or split screen UI. I know a lot of people will be really excited for this one because, yeah, I've gotten a few comments about that, so it's now properly fixed. Fix the multiplayer bug when the traveler's chest belonging to the client wouldn't show up in the basement. Blighted Village Camp in Act 1. So, yeah, that's good. Camps are sometimes a little tricky, especially with chests. So that's a nice fix. Fix illusionary double invoked with invoked duplicity appearing to lack equipment and armor. So that's good. Fix a bug where if you had scratched summon and then you traveled to a new region, he would be dismissed once the region loaded. And as a bonus, not really much of a bonus, appear dead in your party line. So that's now corrected. Thank goodness. All barbarian rages now correctly gain 3 bonus damage instead of the previous 2 for objects thrown in rage once they hit level 9. That's a nice fix. So an extra point of damage at level 9. Not massive, but hey, I appreciate little changes like this. The movement-based booming blade condition will no longer apply to inanimate objects as they can't move on their own anyway. So yeah, good. Photo mode. Fix the wild-shaped boars and cats not paying proper attention when to look at the camera option. So that's, I guess, another one that's been popping up somewhat frequently as if you're using photo mode, you can make the creatures all appear or make them all look at your character. So in your photo mode here, you'd be able to select the cat if you had one summoned, and then you can press the look at the camera and they'll look into the camera, which is nice. So now the cats and the boards will now properly do that. So good little fix. And fix a file system error potentially trigger for our users a non-Latin Windows user accounts when trying to save a screenshot with photo mode. So again, any fix is a good fix. UI and tooltips. Fix inconsistent damage values on Booming Blade tooltips at higher levels. Fix a bug containing certain skill tooltips to not appear when you hover over them unless you pin them. And fix a Twitch extension bug causing the overlays to disappear on Twitch as soon as you click on them. So yeah, this is a good one for Booming Blade. I haven't encountered this myself, but anytime the tooltips are messed up, it ends up getting people thinking differently. And yeah, I'm always happy for any tooltip fixes because sometimes the tooltips weren't accurate or reflective of what's happening. And Larry's been doing a great job of getting that all updated because there's a lot that goes on, especially if it's upcasting and things like that. So yeah, Hotfix 31. I'm happy that the Trippin' Balls color issue is no longer there. Glad that the Shadow Blade got corrected, some damage buffs to the Barbarian, and many other general fixes. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about. So with the Radial menu loading issue on console, I want to give an assist here to Mistra, who's gotten the answer. So basically what's happening is when we use the Radial wheel on console, sometimes what was happening was it would lag really badly when you're trying to pull up the Radial menu. So those are having issues on console, at least for the Radial menu lag part. Here's a temporary fix I found which worked for them. The lag, for some reason, comes from when you have the controller circle on the enemy while you pull up the Radial menu. So put the pointer on the ground instead, not on the enemy, and then you can use the Radial menu without lag and attack. You have to keep doing this, but it's better than nothing and better than using a Radial menu that lags. So yeah, basically what's happening. So if you're having lag, let's say located over a character when you're using the Radial menu, what you have to do is now just select the floor, pull up the Radial menu, and then you go ahead with that. So yeah, this should work. Hopefully, if it doesn't, just let me know in the comments, but I've seen from others that it's been helping out with them. So just wanted to provide a little update on that as well. So yeah, Hotfix 31, Baldur's Gate 3. If this video is useful, hit the subscribe button below. I hope you have an incredible day, and we'll see you all in the next one.